the date's June 5th. It's 7:05 PM, and we're here for the Building Grounds Transportation Security Meeting. Present tonight is myself, Keith Hero, Carmen Alvarez, Katie Fabiano, Dr. Chanley, Dr. Lehman, Dr. Higgins from the high school, Ms. Ratner, Ms. McDonald from Transportation, Mr. Selby from Security, Dr. Higgins from Middle School, and Mr. Gerald Tague, our Facilities Director. So I will turn over the start of the meeting to Mr. Tague with our first presentation.
Yes, pleased to announce that we have another presentation this evening by one of our students. She's presenting for her Girl Scout silver medal. And please welcome Ruby Sanaji.
Hello everyone, my name is Ruby Someji and I am in 8th grade at the Monrow Township High School. I'm a cadet in Girl Scouts and I'm seeking your approval to execute my Silver Award project. My Silver Award project is to create birdhouses for Berkeley Brook, my local elementary school. I feel that this project will benefit both the birds and the community, and I will also help the ecosystem provide students opportunities to observe, study, and enjoy birds along with forming deeper connections with nature and the language. A root cause of my issue is the decline of natural habitats for birds due to urban development and deforestation. Climate change and pollution affect nesting sites of birds. Invasive species often disrupt ecosystems and alter bird habitats. As a result of my research, I have discovered that bird populations have experienced major losses over the past 30 years. The bird population in America has declined by 3 million birds, or 29% since 1970. Habitat loss is one of the contributions to this decline. This project will address important issues related to bird conservation and habitat preservation. By building birdhouses, I can provide alternative nesting opportunities, helping to reduce the impact of habitat loss. By raising awareness about the importance of building birdhouses, we encourage the community, especially students and schools, to take proactive steps toward protecting bird life. This matters because building birdhouses in our community benefits both birds and people. It also fosters a deeper appreciation for nature and wildlife among society members. Birdhouses will also bring a positive change to our community. This target audience is going to be students at elementary school and all of the Monroe Township Public Library members as well. This project will be sustainable by educating the students at Berkeley Brook Elementary School to be involved with the birdhouses. I'll be creating an informative brochure regarding instructions on maintaining the installed birdhouses. This will also include educational opportunities for students to learn about birds, habitat, and conservation. As part of my Silver Award project, I'll be organizing a workshop under my leadership to build birdhouses. Under the supervision and assistance of a skilled adult and a group with interested participants, this will be a fun and educational experience that combines hands-on construction skills with lessons in leadership, humor, and environmental stewardship. I plan on doing this project this summer, and I'm seeking your approval if I can be able to execute the project during this summer, as I would like to complete it before my high school.
Thank you.
I have to say your use of the English language is just perfection.
Excellent. Ms. Ratner.
Just what age would you be doing the workshops for? I know you had mentioned Berkeley Brook. Would it be for all ages that are there?
I plan on making birdhouses myself with a few other companions, but I will be installing the birdhouses in the school and creating a workshop and kind of a club, I guess you can call, with the students at the school, so I can teach them about the birdhouses and stuff and how to keep them stable.
That's great.
Excellent.
Amazing job. This is the best part of committees.
Yeah. Most exciting part of it. We look forward to it. I mean, everybody's on board for it.
Yep,
Yeah.
it's a great idea.
Yeah, Mr. Take contact if you need assistance with anything and, whatever we can do to help. And you like a picture?
Do we need a picture?
Oh, I did take a picture.
Did you take a picture?
It's just thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for your presentation.
Congratulations.
Congratulations. Okay, we'll move on now to the middle school cardio removal.
This is just a recap of something we discussed with the previous committee a few months back, just to make this committee aware of what is going on, what is planned for this summer. See the aerial view here. We have two sets of trailers at the middle school. Up by Brownville Road are the classroom trailers, and then highlighted in yellow is the double wide cardio trailer. And we are on schedule to have that removed this summer. As far as cost, there is a cost for breakdown and removal, which essentially negates about a year's worth of lease payments. So we're kind of net zero for the year, but after that fact, we can no longer incur those costs. It'll also be an energy savings because these are not the most energy efficient units. So getting that out of there will also save us some energy. So we're on target for that to happen by June 30th. Okay.
Anybody have any questions? No? Okay. Let's move on now to the, Monroe Township Middle School stopgap project discussion.
So for some of the new committee members, to let you know how some of these stopgap projects has happened in the past, as building principals experience growth or have ideas for restructuring the building, we do what we refer to as stopgap projects. They're not full referendum projects, but there's some interior renovations. Past years, we built classrooms in library. This coming summer, we're putting 3 small group instruction rooms at Brookside School. And the process for that was last year, we brought it to the committee endorsed it. During the course of the 23-24 school year, monies were used to bring in the architect to design things, get plans together, and they'll be constructed, it's been budgeted for and constructed in 24-25. Dr. James Higgins is here tonight to talk about 2 projects he'd like to propose as stopgaps at the middle school. Starting with, first is the second floor A wing, the old chem storage room. Dr. Higgins?
So, my glasses are in between, I can't see the white. And it's a tough act to follow when we have an 8th grader come on. So what I'd like to propose is this section here is, I believe, when with the high school was the chemical storage room.
Correct.
We don't have chemicals in our curriculum, so this is right now a book storage room. This is a teacher workroom. Doesn't get a lot of use. What I'd like to request is to gut it and make it a small group instruction room. By doing that, instead of having our resource teachers, our interventionists on parts, we could give them a home. And even if I split the room between 2 teachers, at least they have a home base to go to and keep their materials and instead of going back and forth with parts. So that would be the first thing. This is storage right now, so I wouldn't ask for anything in this part. It would just be this piece right here. Right now, there's a island, there's some cabinetry, like in the high school,
Copy machines.
a sink, copy machine that would be relocated.
And then the next piece is down on the first floor. Get your bearings, it's across from the libraries. It was originally set up as a student council office, and athletic director was in there, and Dr. Higgins, you want to explain what you use it for
So
now?
right now, this used to be my office, one of the VP. This was my secretary. These are 2 counselor offices. Worked out well as the secretary because the students would come in, that I had to meet them, the councils had to meet. There's an outside door, the elevator, the building is right up here. So what I would like to request is if we could put a door to the outside hallway here and a door to the outside hallway here, we can make this an office. Right now, we can't make it an office because it's the only access for these 2 offices. By making this an office, I can move somebody, a guidance counselor out of the room that we could use for small group instruction into the smaller space, take up a small group instruction and have a mini guidance suite right here. So by going in here, the only access to this office and this office is through this space, so that's why I'm cutting these windows.
Is there a, there's not gonna be a wall there? So there's
So the yellow is exterior walls.
exterior, but I mean, we're not doing interior wall.
No.
We're not doing,
No.
it's,
No, the walls are already here.
You wanna put 2 doorways.
Basically 2 there, one here. This way they can close these 3 doors and they will have this is the hallway outside.
as far as if we did doorways, is that like a huge cost? Is that something we'd have to contract out? Is it it's something we'd have
Something we
to?
have to contract, yeah. So it is a hallway, so it's a rated assembly there.
That's what I mean. We're in a bit of a budget crunch money wise, so. My other question is, my understanding in the middle school is that, next year we have a lower number of kids coming in, correct?
Correct.
And we were saying that we might not need to use the trailers if not needed. I mean, would we be able to use, obviously, we're not gonna remove the trailers, but if we don't need all 8 classrooms there, will we be able to utilize those?
Well, we have need for 5 of those rooms because we have 4 classes, we still have a team outside. And then we have,
We had 2 teams outside, one was moved in. I was thinking-
But we're only gonna have 1 team in there.
Correct.
right, so we need,
So we'll have 3 empty classrooms? If there's 8?
we have, goals for those classrooms.
French, Italian.
We're still working on the
I mean, you
schedule.
could, I mean, we had, if I may,
Yeah.
we had discussed this because we were talking about saving money. So I think one of the reasons why we were looking at this project is that, to possibly get the committee, if you agree with Dr. Higgins, to approve it, only to look at a design to find out what the cost would be, not to do it, because if not next year, the year after we do get rid of the trailers, we would then, right now, we have a guidance counselor in a huge small group instruction room that would then open up a small group instruction room. So I think the hope would be if there was any, depending upon the cost, to just get a plan, because I already told them this probably is not happening, just to get a plan because we have no financial, but then we're set up kind of like we did with Apple Club, we're set up to move forward if we do get rid of trailers. That was the point.
That makes sense. So
That was our intent.
to get an idea,
You would engage the architect, who's the architect record, and an hourly rate.
Correct.
Evaluate this.
and I mean, it's just a large cost architecturally or? is it-
No.
Not architecturally, this room, this here is a window wall, glass, color metal frames, that entire thing is gonna have to come out. It's not like, on the other side, it's just a block wall, we cut through and put in a door for $2,000.
Yeah.
The other one's gonna be quite a bit more expensive.
The glass wall, you know.
And got a fire line all the way there.
But we can pay our architect of record, we're allowed as a service, professional service. So my thought process is we keep the trailers, let's just say the numbers keep on going down, we don't know because we have to do a demographic study, which we talked about. But if that happens, then we're being proactive to say, we're gonna get rid of the trailers, which we know we don't have the budget right now because it's a cost. It's a savings, just like the
Yeah.
comments, but you know, correct. So we said if we move forward with an architectural design here, putting it in our back pocket, knowing what it might be a cost, then not next year, but the year after, let's say it is feasible to get rid of the trailers, then we know that he can have another small group instruction room and he can keep the guidance counselors in a suite. So that's why I asked him to present it.
I mean, I'm fine with, if it's not a huge cost, just to get an idea of the drawing and cost value, so if in the future we had to do it. I just,
For the first floor, it would not be. For
the second
the
floor,
second floor, that's a lot more complex just because the HVAC that will be involved. Special exhaust system in there now that is designed for chemical spills.
So maybe we leave that or to the end.
I would hold off on the second floor, and that's, I mean, you're the pro, that's a lot more complicated. I mean, that would be big money to move all that thing.
But the first floor might be
Maybe
an
the
easy.
first floor, we could just do the architecture on.
That'd be great.
And I cost, what it would cost, Kevin's right.
So 2 questions. The first is, regarding the one that includes the teacher workroom. Is there another, faculty room in the school?
There's a main, yes.
Hardly anybody uses that room.
Right, yeah, they're usually where they are, but I just wanted to
Yes, there
clarify that. And then just, I don't know if I might have missed the discussion about the trailers. I know we had a certain year lease was, maybe it was 5-year lease. Is that?
Oh, we're past that.
Unable to remove the trailers? Because I was just curious if the cost of there's a cost to remove them,
There's a cost.
but there's a cost to keep them. Is the cost of removal higher than the cost of using?
It goes by time.
We wouldn't want to entertain removing them right now because we
We
don't.
didn't get a demographic study.
Demographer's report, and maybe this year, next year, we may be low, and then he may say 3 years from now that Dr. Higgins is gonna get another 500 kids, so my suggestion to everybody is we keep.
Wait for
track.
demographic study.
We use them the best that we can, And then once we get the demographer's report, if there's an option where, we wouldn't need them then, we'll discuss, because I mean, we're removing one trailer
Right.
and it's a big cost. Removing eight trailers, I'm sure would.
We would have to, if I may,
Cost.
we're gonna have to put in the budget, the actual to memorialize the cost of removal. But to answer your question, and I think Mr. Tate will agree with me, the end result is it's a savings.
Okay.
Absolutely. It's not any different than spending the money to, to reconfigure the golf course, to stop spending $10,000 a month. Did we have to spend money? Of course we had to spend money. So the cardio trailer's cost to remove it was put into our budget. We were aware of it. There's nothing in our budget now. There's definitely nothing, for those that are watching, we're not removing the trailers by any means. But if, let's say we do the demographic study, like he said, let's say we do it in
We
December,
don't need them.
right? We do it, and we truly don't need them. That means that in the budget, we have to memorialize the 150, 300,000, whatever it is, cost. But then within, we could recap that cost based upon the monthly cost of what it is over, let's say, I'm just coming up with a number, 3-year period of time. So in the end, it's always a savings, but you have to spend money to save money.
Right.
And now that's not happening, but if an architectural design just lets us know what's doable, it helps with reconfiguring the school.
Right. I mean, it obviously helps with class size and all those things if you have it, but I also know we have a lot of financial concerns.
Yeah. And that's why I said, it's not bad if it's not, like Mr. Tate said, it's not that big a cost to do that first floor, just to get an
Yeah, I
idea.
think it's a good idea.
72 walls. But I agree, if the second floor is like
Costly.
a lot, very costly, I think
And
we're
let it
just
be.
gonna have to hold off on that.
I agree.
I agree.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Let's go to facilities,
Mhm.
building preview.
So Dr. Chanley asked that we add this on here because kind of an annual review, though we're not the policy committee, but to specifically address one item that has come up. So I sent out the policy and the regulations. I don't know if anybody
Yeah, I got it.
wants to see those. But I also included, just to give you an idea of what goes on in our department. I'll give you a summary of what we do every year. So you've probably seen my weekly reports every week where I say we process. Use the buildings, you're probably like, why does he put them in there every week? Because we do a lot of them.
Yeah.
So the past 12-month period, we did 11,606 votes. So that's 11,606 forms. We have to process in my office for insurance, for scheduling, put on the calendar,
Mhm.
all those kind of things. So it's a lot. And also to give you an overview of the fees that we took in. So we collected a total of $178,089.92 for renting the place out. And it's a big improvement over past years because
Correct.
we have this, you may recall, we came to the board 2 years ago
Mhm.
and talked about.
Yeah, it was,
our charges kind of on par with.
we revised the policy to match the cost of the charges. By the way, it's important just to note, I don't want to interrupt, but I want to let you know, this is not our shared services. We do not charge our township.
Correct.
I want to just let you know, this is outside of people utilizing.
Do we cover the cost of the security and custodial as well for township?
Yes.
They're charged for security and custody.
Because the.
Oh, not the.
No, 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 no.
Okay.
No, we don't charge them.
Outside agent.
And we only utilize security when we need to. That's a whole long topic.
So that gives you an overview of what happens during the course of the year. And the discussion came about because we have some groups who are looking or have been having activities historically that go
2:00 in the morning.
beyond midnight, 1, 2 o'clock in the morning. And there's been a difficulty in staffing security in some other areas. So nothing in the policy addresses
We'd like
time
to.
limit. It does address one section of the policy, which is time limit on school nights, saying they should be vacated by 10 PM on school night. It does not address weekends or other times.
Correct.
So
So I asked Mr. Tate to please put this on here because I thought it was appropriate to come to BG&T first. And then, of course, we always go to policy. I do think it's appropriate, people that are utilizing the facility, they are paying for it, but we are now incurring a cost of going above midnight. Once you go past 11:30, 12 o'clock, you have people that are not willing to do it. The premises, then it's very difficult. We thought, we were just kind of throwing out ideas, perhaps we could say, an additional cost if the facility is utilized beyond 11:30 PM, just coming up with a, we cannot do that without the policy agreeing, but we thought BG&T should have a first look because it starts here. So we were very pleased that in 2022, we were able to revise this and finally get our due. Because we had people, not our people, coming from other places that do not live here because we were so cheap. So we did do that. And we also did say, and this was two groups ago that we would revisit it in May or June every year. So number one, we could have the conversation, of course, we'll bring it to policy. Do we want to change the course? So that's one conversation. And because I feel it falls into BG&T, it should definitely not want it to come to Mr. Piro's committee. And then the second thing is, can we put in some sort of a disclaimer? You know, kindly be advised, any function that will last beyond 11 PM or 11:30 PM, I don't know what that looks like. Because there are groups that are using it. It is literally 1, 2 o'clock in the morning.
How many times, how many groups?
What kind of?
Oh,
How many times a year happen? Once, twice, five?
oh, we more than twice.
Yeah.
Maybe 5, 6 times.
Yeah, it was the one at Oak Tree, that was the first one.
Okay,
Then the two big.
Two big ones. I'd say there was about 5 or 6.
Yeah.
okay. That go past midnight?
Oh, yeah.
For two of the events, we brought police in besides security.
Okay.
And we charge.
I mean, we were going, this event is, you can't light the candle until a certain time,
It's ceremonial in nature.
cultural things, so they had to go beyond, but did they have to be there till 1 o'clock, 1:30, 2 o'clock? Not really. So when you get beyond midnight, now you're talking, not for the armed guys, but if it's unarmed that belongs to the MTA,
It's.
they get double time for Sunday. So,
Mm.
and sometimes we can't get enough arms, so we brought the police department last year, and that, they had to incur that extra cost.
So,
So,
so why don't we just, what is the cost we charge per hour?
Varies by school, by
Mhm.
facility.
So,
What tier they are.
so let's just say one of the events, you gotta still till in the morning. They pay a flat rate per
Yeah, yeah.
custodian per hour, correct? And a flat rate for
Well, there's a
security.
use of building charge, and they mandatory have 2 custodians at a minimum.
Okay.
So
So maybe we should just charge them flat
Could,
fee.
is it possible to say any event that goes past midnight, instead of paying, say, $40, double to $80? So if they're
they put a
saying,
premium on for those.
and anything after midnight's a premium, so then if it ends up that the security guy or girl is getting double, they're not getting more than what we're charging the people. I mean,
Right.
and
So we
I
could put
think
that in
same
the
thing
policy.
custodial wise, do the custodians get extra, more money on a Sunday than a Saturday?
It's double time or something.
Okay, so then I think that we should, that maybe anybody uses the building after midnight, you know, it's the rate until midnight, and then at midnight, we raise the rate, double it for an hour or two, and then that would cover our costing, sure that we're paying people double time, especially your people.
Yeah, I don't know if it costs as much as being able to get people to work it. I think it was-
Well,
If there's a concern about bringing MTPD versus in-house security, that the.
well, if they bring in MTPD, they're gonna pay $120 an hour.
we brought in two last year, it was 128,
Yeah,
and, we actually brought them in like an hour or so later, but they stayed later, so.
Just, I pulled it up, the custodial fee for class 2 is 110 per hour on weekdays and 132 for class 3. And on weekends, it's custodial is $220 an hour for class 2, 264 for class 3. And then for 2 custodians, and
Yeah,
then for
so-
security, per security officer, for weekdays, class 2 is 70, actually it's the same for class 2 and class 3. So for weekdays and weekends, I should say. So it's $72 per hour for a class 2 organization, 86 per hour for a class 3.
Can I make a suggestion?
Sure.
Perhaps we leave everything like it is because there's so much involved. And we just say, if your activity is going to extend beyond 12 o'clock, in addition to paying whatever you're paying, here is the extra fee. That's it. It is so much easier. So for example, whatever your class is, class 2, class 3, you pay what you pay. Whatever your hourly cost is, you pay what you pay. But if they stay for 12 to 2, it's an extra flat fee, because otherwise it's too confusing, of X amount of dollars.
yeah.
Does that work for you?
Just make a fee and then,
And that's it, it's a fee. And that's it. And they pay, so they're paying for the custodians, they're paying for the security, but we have the fee.
then if they need to hire the police, so that's how they're gonna have to pay for the police.
Correct. But at least, and you know what, if I can make this statement, it may, I don't use the word deter, but it may assist them in realizing that perhaps they don't need to be there till 2 o'clock in the morning, but it would be in their best interest to, once they have to do whatever the ceremonial is.
I guess some of the ceremony things, like,
Like they could have left, let's say 12:30, but they stayed till 2, right? So if we just do, if the, BG&T is good with it and we move it to policy, and I know we have Ms. Alvarez here, which is good because she's a policy chair.
What are we suggesting we raise?
Yeah, what would this, so it would be a flat, one-time flat fee for anything goes after 12 o'clock.
Can I interrupt? In
Sure.
the current policy now, there's no dollar amount in there. That has to be on some different document.
What are you looking at, Kate?
I went to the district.
Yeah, you know what it is, you're absolutely right.
Yeah,
So the district is setting schedule, so we could probably just approve a surcharge to the.
That's the word.
schedule, And then it wouldn't have to be in policy because it's on our schedule. Now, would that be done through BG&T? Is that okay?
Or
Is it okay if we do it?
Just need someone to make a motion.
Yes, I think actually if we could put it on, now, here's my question, I wonder if through finance, we could put it as a resolution.
So I think what we do is, without having to address the policy, because the policy, I think, focuses on who's the
Who's
tier.
working.
Tier 1, tier 2, tier 3.
Fee schedule. So
Yeah.
fee schedule.
Oh, we'll
could
make a
be-
resolution to change the fee schedule.
You can change it in finance probably to,
I think you just change with feedback from whatever committee, you change the fee schedule and the board
Yeah.
approves the fee schedule.
Right, so if we want to change the fee schedule, I could have it added as an add-on,
yeah,
and then it would be put in the board agenda for the 12th.
yeah.
But we have to discuss what's the amount.
it actually says on the regulation that we should review the fee
Yes.
schedule yearly.
I know, that's why I brought it up, that's why I had it in here.
Is that us or finance?
Well, what happens is that's actually policy.
Starts here.
It starts here and it goes to, because when we review it, it's under the policy, but we can review the fee schedule and add it, and then we don't have to change the policy, because we reviewed it, we could just add it as a board agenda item.
What if we just made it like a flat thing of $50
Yeah.
more an hour per person? Like, if you're going past midnight, it's additional 50 for each security guard. It's an additional $50 an hour for each custodian. So if you have 2 custodians, it's gonna jump into another $100 an hour. And if there's 1 security guard, it'd be an extra 50, or if it's 2 security guards, it'd be another 100.
Let's see, just a flat.
That's what I'm saying, my suggestion is, anybody who goes over past midnight, it costs me $400, done.
That's what I mean, so.
No, just total.
People wanting to request
Okay.
the custodian, that's what they're.
So I would say,
I wouldn't even do
are
hourly.
we including security and custodians or just one for each one?
No, just an overall surcharge.
Okay.
Right, yeah, that's what I'm thinking. My thought process is it's just like we rent a room. Anybody who's in this facility after midnight
I just wanna-
will incur a $200 flat fee cost regardless of whether they're there till 2 or they're there till 1, because they might scoot out a little more readily.
Just a flat,
Charged an hour after the event.
They're still gonna be charged.
No, I'm saying so we would, if it goes past midnight.
They're getting the double charge then.
As well, but looking at that surcharge, because you said they get paid double for Sundays, for security, it's $72 per hour.
that would
So,
cover the unarmed.
I just
Just-
feel like we need to at least cover our
Yeah.
costs.
That would cover our costs for the unarmed.
If,
They're the ones that get the double.
what was the number that we just,
I'd say $200 flat fee,
Does that sound reasonable?
$200 flat fee, and this way, and if they leave, fabulous, and if they don't leave, that's the cost.
that's what everyone asked.
Would we, I mean, I know we had that issue about, we're talking about doing the curfew.
Yes.
X amount of time after, but I mean, I realize, you know, with the religious impulse.
Some of you
thing,
don't
I
have
to
choice.
Respect that.
Yeah.
So could we put a time limit to 1 in the morning
No, I think so.
rather than go to 2 o'clock? Because it's really not necessary to have them in there till after 1. They do what they have to do, and that's all great.
But you're still gonna need a half hour. I would say 1:30, just to give them a half hour. If they do the thing at 1.
I think
You're
they
still gonna
have
have to wait for
I
everybody.
think they actually do their thing at 12. What happens is it has to do certain religion and cultures is sundown, certain religious cultures is the change of the day. Midnight is the change of the day. So I think that's why I think he's coming up at 1 o'clock, because it gives them a half an hour for their activity and a half an hour for cleanup.
Right, to change it then.
Yeah, it's the change of the day. I mean, I don't want to quote, I don't know everybody's religion. I don't want to speak on
You're
it.
looking at, let's say if it's 2 hours over, then you're looking at $182. That's for one security guard, let's say. For an
No, I
hour,
think
then it
$2
costs
is a
their
fair
getting
flat fee.
So I would think if we want to just maybe look at 400, because then that covers that cost.
But then that's, I don't want to say promoting, but that's ensuring they're going to remain till 2. If you just say $200 flat fee and we'd like everybody out by 1,
Right, but they also get charged for that extra hour for the custodial.
Yeah, so they're gonna pay for that hour.
but But you know what, it's no different when you go to an event, when you go, when you make a 5-hour event and you wanna stay the 6th hour, you pay for everything and the surcharge.
Right, well, they can
I mean, you do.
utilize it until 1, but they would still be paying. for
They're still paying a surcharge, so maybe,
But the extra hours only custodial, so security leaves once the people leave.
yeah.
Okay, so maybe 300 then, sort of.
Oh, she's going up.
I
I thought 200 is fair.
I think we cap it that.
1
you
o'clock.
Have to leave the building by, I'm not sure if I want to say 1 or 2.
Oh, 1 o'clock.
Or 1:30 even, or 1:15, 1:15 a.m.
Yeah, so this way, if you're thinking at 1, I would say they have to be 30 minutes to empty it. They have to be charged till 2 AM. That gives an extra half hour for, I mean, the security people could leave once people leave, but.
You want to define an exit time, and then there's the standard policy that says an hour beyond.
Yeah, all right.
So the exit time is 12 and then the standard is the 1. See, the problem is if you give them till 1:15, they're gonna be leaving at 2 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
Well, no, that's kind of the purpose of having security there. If the
Yeah.
event ends at a certain time.
Time, you have to leave. Yeah, so I would say, well, let's make it 1 AM
Yeah, I think 1 AM is more than fair.
and a $200
I think that's fair too.
charge if you go
Fair
past
charge.
midnight.
I think that's
So
excellent.
from 12 to 1, there'll be a $200 surcharge. And you must exit the building at 1 o'clock.
I think that's
I
excellent.
think it's
And
very
then that would
reasonable. I
be
feel like we should
your
charge it a
15
little
minutes.
bit more, like.
Even if they're there till
2:15.
1:15, just to get them on the bill.
Yeah, but
For the
just- I
custodian,
think it's-
I don't know what the
If
president thinks we
If
should charge them.
if I'm doing this, if I'm doing an event, right, and I need the extra hour, like, well, at this point, what's another $200? So I'm gonna, that's nothing, that's fine, $200, I'm already spent all this money, so if the objective
Well,
is
it's
you want
200
people
over
to.
the hour.
Right, but I've already put out all the money anyway, so.
If you're doing 200, even if they're out by then, we're still, I guess this is just.
We're still ahead of the game.
No, I'm saying we're taking off.
No, we're not. You know why? Because you keep on, we're still charging them for the fees and then adding on the 200. You think we're charging them, we're still charging
We're
them.
still paying the regular fees till 2 AM.
Security, they get double for that
Yeah.
time on Sunday.
Only in armed security. The armed guys only, your
So-
girls only get.
That really only pertains to maybe 1 or 2.
It's only the people that don't carry guns get double time on Sunday.
Correct, because they're part of the MCU.
So it's
The
custodial.
armed people only get time and a half, so you're actually,
Okay,
We're almost.
they're probably getting 55,
Right.
60 an hour, so you're,
Close to even.
you're.
I think the point is really not to, and if the public is watching, we're not looking to make any additional
No.
monies on the
We
public.
just want to cover our costs.
Correct. And we'd also let them know that 2 o'clock in the morning is very late for a lot of people. We go home.
not me.
So then we make it, we tell the people when they come in,
God bless
they're gonna be in the building past midnight. There'll be a $200 surcharge
Correct.
and keep it the way it is.
I like it. Yeah.
To just add one more thing, is there ever events where we have a lot of custodians, and security guards at that time? Because this is just.
Well,
assuming
they're
that's-
still paying by the hour.
Yeah.
They're still paying
Right,
per person.
Yes.
no, right. but
So it's, the
if you look at
surcharge is
time,
basically
it's
just for going past.
Saturday nights that they're like looking at, right? Because
No,
that's for
only looking
Sunday,
at
that's time and a half.
No, I think this would cover it. And what we'll do is
Okay.
we'll bring it to policy as a discussion, because we said we're gonna talk about the monies. That's why I asked us to put it on there yearly, right? And then we can change the fee schedule and that can be board approved on Wednesday.
Yeah.
Works? Okay, good.
Do we want to just, we can discuss it for policy, because it has that 10 PM for school days. So do we want to add anything for the hours?
It's only for the weekend you go after them. During the school days is.
And I think by not putting it in there, it leaves it better. I think when you pigeonhole yourself when you put too much verbiage.
Yeah, right now, if it's a school night, they have to be out.
That's what I'm saying, it has a time.
It's only
and
on-
you want to add it, because
Yeah.
the answer just.
No, I don't think we should add it. I don't think we should write anything for the weekends. Okay. Okay, so where are we next? Let's see.
5 and 6 and others.
But, yeah, we're gonna skip 5 and 6 and do that in security.
The digital
Let's
signs.
talk about the high school digital.
Yeah, I brought that up. So I've been working with Dr. Higgins, who's been working with Mr. Chaik, who's been working with Mr. Tringali. Everybody's been working with it. And it has been a topic of conversation here numerous times. And I look to say, and I spoke with Ms. Allen, because I know we have to be fiscally responsible, but it's getting to a point where we have no sign for our seniors and our juniors and our sophomores and our freshmen. The sign has not worked in a year, approximately 10 months. And we really feel it's appropriate. We did task Mr. Tague if there's any way, we're very much into lease purchase these days because it saves us money. We don't know if it's doable. But we did ask him if he can get us a price on a sign, because at this juncture, you know, we are, the high school's our crown jewel. Well, I love the middle school and the elementaries. It is our crown jewel, and children are swayed. That's the point of the sign. And we haven't had it in this entire school year, almost 2 school years, if you, the end of 1 school year. So, Mr. Tague, we had seen what a new sign would cost.
So a little video we're gonna show you here, because buying a school sign is like buying a TV. You walk in the Best Buy, you see a really spectacular picture and it works its way down. Same thing happens with school signs and quality. So quality is price. So this little presentation will kind of give you an idea of the different,
Signs. Okay.
I just.
let's see
Oh,
the,
I can see the pixels.
yes. Obviously, the lower the pixel, clarity, lower the pixel, higher. clarity.
Same thing with television. Okay.
So Dr. Kevin Higgins and I have already reviewed this. Obviously, he wants the best.
Of course.
Like most of us, is drawn to the 6.66 as being the best. There's about a $5,000 difference between 6.6 and the 8.8, assuming you want to rule out the bottom two.
Yeah, well, the bottom left, the 16 is terrible.
It goes somewhere in the neighborhood of $5,000.
I believe I did settle, I said I would settle on the 8.88.
I'm not sure.
Just say, but what's the $1 million question
Yeah,
here?
how much is the 10 and 8 and the 6?
So you're probably in the, have a price for sign and install. The 8 is about 41.5 without electric. So the LED signs now require different electric than you have, so you gotta figure $2,000.
Yeah, me too, I thought it was gonna be 75,000, I'm actually
So
going, but
figure 43, 44 for
Okay.
the low one, and figure closer to 50 for the first one.
but you took away the really bad one.
Yes.
Okay.
So minimum 45-ish.
That's.
Do we have?
And that's not including, that's the price for that, so you're saying, what, 4 or 5,000?
So no, with the electric, you're looking at
45
45 for
with the electric.
45.
versus 50.
And that was for the 6.67?
Yes. 6.67 is running it close to 50, and 8.88 is on the 44, 5, 55.
Oh, I can live with the 8.
And what is the time frame for
Yeah. how quick is that?
installment?
You'd have it in before it starts.
And Mr. Higgins have the money in the budget to cover this.
Yeah. This is a conversation that we had, I think we should definitely, if BG&T wants to move it forward, we can have it in finance. Because we
Yeah, we
can,
have to see if, where we're at money wise. At least now we know
That's why I
how much is on the product, and is it feasible to do it now? I mean, I don't know how big of a budget we're gonna be in for next year yet. And I mean, the sign used for student of the month.
for everything.
Yeah.
I mean, it's used for, well, it hasn't been used in a while. It's been on and off for a couple of years now. We've had some technical issues, I think, for many years. I don't think the sign, and you can talk to what the sign is now, is the quality that we're looking at.
Yeah, so obviously it's come a long way as television, so these are LED signs, which were in existence when high school was built. So the signs lasted 13 years, frankly, it's kind of on the low end. We have Oak Tree is the other school where we had one installed to construction in 2008, and that's still working fine.
Oh, high school, what is middle school? How old is that sign?
So that's probably even older.
Or even older, absolutely.
And they're still working.
It still works.
What's the warranty on
We simply get a 5-year warranty.
5 years?
You didn't update that sign with the school from there?
Nope, that's your sign. That's the high school sign, our old
So-
sign.
Is there a PTO or PTA at the high school?
No.
There isn't.
Okay,
Is there any parent group here? Because I know the
No.
parent group paid for the signs at most of the elementary.
right, that's good.
He doesn't have a parent.
There's no parent group that is significant enough, other than like an athletic booster club that would be able to contribute to the summer at this time.
So there's no groups that could contribute?
That's it, yeah.
No, there's not, no.
What about the potential for like a community partnership? I was just looking when we were looking at, that's happened in other districts, whether it's a sponsor.
Don't we have somebody here now that does like, they advertise for sports and stuff and on the field and we get paid for it? Do we still do that or?
We charge them for the vinyl signs, but it's not I know what you're saying, it's not a monthly cost. I know what you're saying.
It's just.
I mean, if we could get, I think what you're going at is get a sponsor,
Yeah.
to sponsor the sign,
Right.
and then they have advertisements in addition to whatever we put out there.
This is way out of left field, and I don't know if there's a way to do this through the education platform is, but could you take out a bond or a ban to fund that and then do sponsorships on that sign to pay off that bond or ban as you go forward?
Well, I believe Ms. Allen is planning on, we would lease this, because whenever this piece of equipment is leased.
Okay.
So it wouldn't be 50,000 out of one year's budget, it would be broken up over.
That's why I wanted to bring it to finance, because I
Okay.
believe that's
Break it up over a period of time.
5 years usually.
Okay.
So bring it to finance.
Yeah, we should bring it to finance.
Okay.
At least breaking it down over a couple of.
And in the
few
meantime.
years, see a little bit more about it.
There's a way to generate funds off of sponsorships off of that
Well,
sign.
that's what I'm wondering, if we could do some like kind of advertising, local businesses or whatever, you know, they pay, you know, $300
What about the Monroe
a monthly fee and their business.
Monroe Ed Foundation has just renewed, refurbished or renewed,
Yeah. That's what I
rejuvenated
mean.
their partnership.
There's gonna be some groups that maybe we could get some money from towards the sign and maybe we could get some, local businesses even to donate some money.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about businesses.
Either do I, but be
Harvesting all
very
the
careful,
time.
I agree. And I think there is even some legality, we'd have to double check with the
Yeah,
lawyer.
well, we don't have trouble, that's okay, there's all, I
Yeah.
mean, we're doing it at the fields with signs, so
And that's actually, I was gonna
basically the
say,
same thing.
I wonder if we can like provide a sign at the field for sponsorship of that
That's what I mean.
physical sign instead of.
We could
Yeah,
provide-
rather than
But,
something
yeah,
going on the sign. it needs
but now
to
we
be-
have Monroe Ed Foundation, I don't know if Dr. Lemon can speak to it.
I was gonna say in general, I think the sign itself, just like at a school board or any of our other, you know,
Yep.
water programs, could be an opportunity for someone to, you know, sponsor, put their name on something, as opposed to,
Flashing advertisement.
Yeah.
well, I mean, I don't see anybody in the timeframe we're looking at coming at us with a $50,000 check to put the sign up there. I think when the sign is there, that then turns into the opportunity for ongoing or prolonged contributions or something like that. So I think that's the difference of donation to get the sign versus ongoing.
And if, you know, if we bring it to finance and Ms. Allen believes that she could do a lease purchase, and I'm just gonna come up with a number, let's say $8,000, right? $8,000 a month, we look at our finances, finance has to agree, of course, because that's where it ends up, finance makes the decisions.
Yeah, no, definitely.
And then if they do agree, then we could maybe reimburse, for lack of a better term,
Yeah,
you know, a
you
donation
can-
made so that it offsets the cost of the $8,000 a month.
Right.
Mhm.
So it's a thought.
Okay,
Perfect.
all right.
So, so,
We'll get, Laura, get us the numbers and the lease prices and we'll
Mhm.
take it to finance and.
mhm,
Or that could be discussed in,
that could be discussed at finance, yeah.
yeah, that could be done in public.
Okay, let's move on. The gravel lot by the tennis court.
Mhm.
Do we do it yearly, like fill in the pothole, red rocks? We,
Sorry.
okay.
There's so many holes.
It's come up many times in the past about paving that.
Mhm.
Love to see it paved.
It's very expensive.
I can tell you though, from my perspective, it's not the biggest priority in the district. We have some big paving needs at the schools and other locations. When we redid the stadium, football stadium, a lot of product that had come out of there, so we got that contractor to donate, and basically.
Right.
All those.
Academy so
Basically, gravel lots.
Yeah.
Maybe we could just, maybe once a year, get somebody to put a couple of those of stone and throw that, just to, I mean, there's a couple.
To burn them around?
I think there are, yeah, parking areas like that. It's more just.
It's a large area though, I think rough calculation, 23 plus thousand square feet, so if you pave it then steps into stormwater drainage runoff.
Yeah.
Drainage,
So much money.
you're talking a substantial six-figure value.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we're not even paving the other areas, which is doing potholes now in the schools.
And to maintain the gravel that's in the budget or that has to go out to bid?
No, we just kind of take that out of our annual grounds care, pick them along in the summer, Jason was right about there, was our.
Did you have a tractor?
Okay.
Can I ask a question about the lot? Do you mind? I just had conversations and I haven't had a conversation on a district level, but do you think that we could, maybe attempt to define the gravel lot better than it is right now? We do have students that will come and park on the grass, which we don't really like. And there, if you look at it right now, there are posts along the edge of the gravel lot where there, I'm guessing you can chains or a fence at some point. Is it a possibility to redo that fence along to define the edge of what the gravel lot is to prevent cars from parking on the grass?
Full at a cost. We don't, there was Shane there, and continues to do that in the last, because they want to
Yeah.
Park there. Okay. We'll look into that. Ms. Fabiana, do you want to do one?
Yeah, relocation of public board meetings to the middle school. So I know this has been shared with the board. And I wanted to, yes, and I wanted to ask, Dr. Chanley, if we could talk about how
Sure.
how you had recommended this to us and how we got to this decision.
So, in the past, Mr. Selby and I have had this conversation, just in general about, possible other locations. And then we had a new board member orientation, and it came up as part of the conversation. And, I spoke with Ms. Fabiano and I said, what do you think about changing location? And she said, oh, that would be great. What are your thoughts? So immediately our thought, and I'm gonna explain why, our thoughts were originally the high school. We always come back to the high school, and, we were moving forward with the high school, and I was
The path.
high school pack.
That's for.
So, and I'm gonna tell you how we wound up in the middle school, because then I'm gonna describe how it's gonna be configured. So then, Dr. Higgins was having a good day. Taller Dr. Higgins, I will say taller because they both have other similarities. So taller Dr. Higgins came to me and said, what are the odds of me being able to talk you out of something? And I said, everybody laughed and said, probably not too good. And, he was very lucky because he came to me and said 6 of the dates all had conflicts, and we can't do that. Our children have to come first. Absolutely. So I said, you're off the hook, you would. So we made a big joke about it. And then I looked at the other Dr. Higgins and we said, what about the middle school? So I believe it was Mr. Snyder and Mr. Moraldo looked at the schedule, and we think it's very doable. There may be one date. Now, let me tell you why we came to this. We would like our board meetings to be not only appropriate and successful and positive, but we want them to have a certain decorum. This is only my opinion. I believe it was shared by Ms. Fabiano, but it's only an opinion. I really feel that the structure of a meeting and the location really lends itself to people, I'm afraid if I say this wrong, people's actions. I'm not gonna use the other word I want to people's actions. For example, the podium, for those of you that are watching, the podium is right here. We sit up here, the podium's to the left. People sit in any configuration. Mr. Selby tries to get his security guards to tell them not to go by the stacks. You shouldn't be sitting over there. We have people lounging on couches, and that's fine, and we respect it, and we want everybody to come. It's not that we want to deter people. But it has been shared with me by some community members that they feel uncomfortable coming up to the podium because you have to walk through the back and up the side. You don't have a choice because you can't walk across the front. So when we started thinking about an auditorium, that I'm old, so that's what we call it, an auditorium feature. With an auditorium, you have defined, confined seating. You sit in your seat and you have sections and rows. The first 2 rows, we would say, please no one sit there. And then if someone wants to sit to the right, they could sit to the left, people could sit in the middle. And I also spoke, Mr. Morales having it done, and he spoke with Tech and Mr. Hadlick and Ms. Miller. We're gonna have a podium for speaking with a microphone on both sides. So people have the comfort level. They want to come up to this podium, they can speak. They want to come up to that podium to speak. There's nowhere to hang. If someone's hanging, could you kindly take it outside if you're conversing? No, please speak outside. If you're not hanging, then you're sitting, just like we do with when we have a concert or you have a performance. So I felt we all agreed that it stepped up the level of decorum and expectation of the actions of the public. Also allowing, let's say people come as groups, as they should, everybody has friends, fine. This group sits on this side, that group sits on that side, and then I spoke with Mr. Selby, we're gonna have 2 security guards. And when it comes to public session, they will stand by the podium, so the person feels comfortable to speak without any commentary. It just, to me, sets up a standard and a comfort level. I actually had someone make an appointment with me to say, I do not feel comfortable coming to a board meeting. I want to be able to come to the podium and speak, but I feel like I have to walk by various people. It's huge. It holds 1,150 people. People could be sporadic. We are not going to go on the stage. We're going to, because the pit is big enough, we're going to be on the bottom. And, you know, we want the board, I watched other board meetings, and that's how a lot of board meetings are conducted. So we, by all means, because I know people watch it, come. We want you there. We want the community there. We could fit everybody. And the other thing is, when we do our presentations, we're gonna have a huge presentation next week. When we do our presentation with staff and students, we have it in here. You can't fit. Standing at the door, there's no room now. We have 1,150 seats. It's a nice way for children to be acknowledged. We already started going through, we had a meeting, and Ms. Monrow was saying, I got a couple of them on stage, and shake their hands just like we do here, but it sets a tone. So I was in agreement with it, and I was excited about the change. And just so you know, many years ago, we used to have it there when there was no high
And
school.
just to be clear, it wasn't a lack of transparency.
Oh, no.
It wasn't a lack of not informing anybody. This came out of a discussion that we had regarding concerns that we had and how we can, right.
Give everybody
Keep our-
comfortable, also have 2 sides that they could stand at
Right,
and go.
exactly.
Yeah, Ms. Everett.
Just going off of the awards, I would like to start seeing performances too.
Which we can do now, we have a stage.
Now that we have a stage, I just wanted to add that
Yes,
to your point about. the
100%,
awards.
right.
Yeah.
So 2 questions. First is, in terms of security, because there are additional entrances to the PAC besides those that are in the back of the auditorium. There's the side entrance, and then you also have the ability to get on from the stage. Are those
Wait,
going
wait,
to be,
No, they can
No.
open the front door.
That's it.
are those going to be blocked off?
Everything's closed.
Everything's locked.
So how would they utilize the bathroom,
So
Okay,
only the bathroom and the outside hallway.
correct.
like in the lobby area?
There's a bathroom to the left there by the.
Correct.
police room.
Or to the right if you come.
Doors will all be locked. They should
So-
be able to access anything but the restrooms.
Okay.
The classrooms and everything should.
Everything will be locked.
But there's also an entrance to the auditorium that's there.
That will be locked.
That,
You have to come in the front entrance way to know it's
okay, I'm
there.
saying that there's the ability to lock that area.
And we've done it before. It's not like we haven't, we have meetings there. It's, well, we could treat it just like you just had family orientation on Tuesday.
Yeah, we want the school secured and
Right.
you're all gonna come in.
That's why I was asking, there are those other entrances, and so like for board members, if we need to use the bathroom, we would go through
Well,
the back area.
Yeah, well, we've already set up, so one of the reasons also, because it's not that we weren't being transparent, we had to work out the logistics. Will it work? So what I did was, and I copied you, so I wrote an email to Boris, Elliot, to everybody. Zach was taking the lead, Mr. Selby was on it. And then we put Dr. Higgins, once we moved, originally it was this Dr. Higgins, Dr. Lehman, and of course, Mr. Tay, because one of his head custodians at the middle school had excellent ideas also about setup, because what we'll be able to do is we'll be able to, without bothering the public, we'd be able to go out the side, go directly into whatever room. I think he said the chorus was better than the band. We had this conversation, and then the bathrooms are right there for our utilization. So we're gonna make sure it's cleaned up, appropriate. I asked for tables for 15 people to put together, so it's appropriate. I mean, we can give it a try. Listen, if we try it and it's a failure, it's not a failure for any other reason than it just didn't work.
It's
And
a
we-
more controlled environment.
Yeah, I like the seating. You know what, if you're coming there to participate in a meeting, you want to socialize, that's fine. Then we say, you know what, can you kindly step outside? There's nothing wrong with that. When you're sitting in the seat, it's like being in a performance. I thought it was a good idea. I apologize for anybody who doesn't like it, but if it doesn't work,
Yeah,
We'll
there's
move it
definitely positives to it. That was
Yes.
my only question. Was
yeah, I'm not worried at all, because we've manipulated, utilized new middle school for years and years and years. When he's director of security, when he was director of security, we do it all the time. So everything will be locked, there'll be no access.
There's a
Anyway.
bathroom backstage too.
There's a bathroom backstage also, and then there's the bathroom that will leave unlocked, of course, that's handicap accessible. Right there as well. So we're gonna give it a try, and I know there's some comments I got from some people was regarding the parking. We have a lot of handicap parking in front. We also have the parking next to the trailers, where you can just walk down. We're very hopeful. We don't want to inconvenience anybody, but we can't have, there's no such thing as perfection, because the high school parking is more accommodating. But we can't be interrupted 6 times. We have to have some consistency of our
My
meetings.
only suggestion to Mr. Selby would be that maybe nights of board meetings, we just cone off the front, so there's no cars parked in that front area.
Yeah,
Let them park from, even if they park in the front, like from the main entrance down to the gym,
Oh, like this way.
it's fine, yeah.
Yeah, we will let
This way
people,
People won't have to walk as far. And
I think it's a really
done
good
in the
idea.
past is just block off in front of the original thing, so you don't have to worry about it. This way, if there is an emergency, the police, the fire, everybody can get in.
Right, because you have the whole front not blocked.
Yeah, the whole front of the auditorium.
And what you could do is you could even lock, so the main entrance,
well, we would love me.
and all they do is come in through the back.
Everybody comes in.
And when it's not public forum, the security guards will be rotating. Only when it's public forum, we want people to have the comfort level to be able to speak at the microphone, regardless of where anybody sits or who anybody's friends with. We just want everybody to have a voice. So actually, it's actually not a lack of transparency. It's an opportunity to make everybody feel safe and comfortable to be able to come and speak their piece. That was my goal.
Good,
So just so everybody is clear,
clear.
the meeting next week, Wednesday, June 12th, is going to be at the middle school path. We are excited to try out the new venue
Try it.
and we'll see how it goes.
Is it possible to maybe put it on the signboards at all the other schools, so
Sure.
parents know?
Not the high school.
Put it on the inside signboard.
Absolutely.
Parents don't come to board meetings anyway, so.
If, well, you know what else I will do? So tomorrow, Blackboard Connect, and it might not, soon Blackboard will be gone.
Okay.
Blackboard Connect is gonna go out wishing everybody well and the prom and a half day on Friday. So I will write it to kindly be advised. Thank you. And I get them. Thank you. And I'll do that as well. So that kindly be advised. And then we can put on any signs. I'll send an email to them.
Everybody go with that?
Yeah.
One more thing before we get to patient, I'd just like, Mr. Tate, you could just give us a quick overview of what point we are right now at Applegarth School, where we're at over at the permit, so we have to pick contractors, so we.
So see at next week's board meeting, there'll be a resolution to appoint BN Electrical, the contractor that we did for the new primary electric service. We've already awarded to the roofing contractor. The kickoff meeting with both contractors last week. So we'll start the contract signing process, based on insurance, bonds, all the stuff we're going through, getting the, sorry, student school, that's out. With both of them. Yes. What would happen this summer, the right guys? And then the HVAC and other roof sections are full design, one target to have those wrapped up and start the bid bills by the end of the summer.
Oh, perfect. So we're ahead of schedule. Oh, perfect. Great to hear.
Yes.
Okay, let's move to, anybody have that up, we're good.
Just excited.
Maybe we can have Ms. McDonald now give us a little bit of an overview on transportation for the remainder of the school year. Does it look
We
like
hired a supervisor.
we're still gonna have a lot of bus routes short every day?
It's right till the end of the year, we're gonna have the same shortages that we got this season, so there'll be a lot of definitely from now to the end. So
Okay.
last week will be even trickier with the half days, but
Everybody will get home safely.
we go get home safe and as efficiently as we possibly can.
And if we could just make sure we get the blackboards out, the information,
Yeah, right.
if we know a bus is gonna be late or,
Every morning, every,
Morning.
and they go out telling them which one they're gonna be late with them, but
and next year we're looking at possibly 15 out the route
we're
for.
looking at 11 pre-tiered routes, that's high school, middle and elementary.
Okay,
That's 11, so that's basically 33 routes.
Correct.
okay.
And
then
four.
4 other high school routes.
It's 15 total, but 33.
Total High school,
It's actually 30, it's actually 37 total. rounds.
Okay, and 11.
and 11
Triple
tier, yeah.
And we can give a shout out to Ms. McDonald because we had a very good leadership meeting and then we had a principals meeting as well. Secondary, we had a leadership meeting where she thanked all the principals because they're doing a fabulous job of utilizing space for children so that it's more of a comfort level when they're waiting, like in the afternoon. For example, we're talking about Oak Tree, I believe, right? Is that the one we were talking about? But the various different schools, the principals and vice principals are really working well to do their very best so that kids feel comfortable. We're making sure that children aren't penalized for being late.
Yeah, it's a
Yeah,
well,
it's almost
real
over.
at this point with all the schools that have been working cooperatively.
Let's hope next year we get a better.
Yeah, I just do think the most important piece is the communication.
Yeah.
So if a bus is going to be late or something, communication with parents is key, that,
We send
don't-
out
we don't
Blackboard
want-
every morning to all of the routes that are gonna be double the
Yeah.
second route.
yeah.
The ones that are on the first route, we don't,
Mhm.
every one of them.
Good.
We might miss one once in a
Mhm.
blue moon, And then because it's 3 tiers, so you have your high school is doubled. Sometimes that will affect that driver's next
Mhm.
middle school. And then that might affect the elementary. We
Right.
don't always get those in place because
Right,
it's very convoluted. And we, for
yeah.
the most part.
I definitely don't envy your position, and I think it's definitely a difficult thing to manage, just the communication, I just look at it from a safety standpoint, that, you know, we have students that can be standing outside for 40+ minutes, and parents either drop them off at the bus stop to go to work and don't know if their children are standing there. We just want to make sure that everybody is aware, as best as we can, to make sure that, you know, our students and parents
99%.
know where bus is.
It's right. Once in a while, we make a mistake and we send out the wrong way, but
Mhm.
that happens.
And if you have to over communicate, sometimes you send it a double communication, better double than nothing.
And if we do find someone at the last minute, we will send a
Mhm.
quick one right
And if they,
after
you know,
say,
and they have to understand
Yeah.
why they're getting it now.
Yeah.
yeah, that Blackboard's very, very valuable.
Okay, any other questions? All right, we're gonna end the public portion now. We're gonna go into the closed door to talk security issues.
We're going to, we're closed.